You're doing cold outreach, you reach out to a prospect, it's the first 5 to 10 seconds on the call. What do you say? I got something for you. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I would recommend, what I use, and you can see how this could benefit you as well. Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode to you, I'm coming to you live. You can't see it, but I'm in the Middle East in Dubai, and it's absolutely amazing, breathtaking. If you've never been to Dubai, you need to put this on your list, and it's a great place for you to come and to check out and visit. So while I'm here, I wanted to do some content, and specifically, this is a part of our Back to Basics series. This is a fundamental series that we've been doing, 7-part series, and the whole idea is to help you to focus on some of the fundamental things that we need to do as sales professionals to help us to improve. I've seen time and time again that to be able to be really successful in sales, it doesn't require you to be the most experienced seller in the world, and it doesn't require you to be the most elegant, elegant or eloquent. It doesn't require you to do any of that fun stuff, but the things that it does require is the fundamentals. If you can practice the fundamental things, you're going to always be successful. Being able to know how to write a good email, how to get prospects' attention, how to utilize social, how to open up a conversation, and so forth. And today, specifically, we're going to focus on the first 10 seconds of a cold call. And I'm going to give you exactly what I share. Now, your process may be a little bit longer than 10 seconds, but you just get the idea. If this is your first time listening to our podcast, go ahead and subscribe because we're going to notify you every single time we drop a new episode, just like this one. So please go ahead and do so. Additionally, what I'd like for you to do is to take this episode and share it with somebody else on your team, someone else that can benefit from it. So let's dive in real quick. You're doing cold outreach, you're reaching out to prospects, and you're trying to figure out, what do I say in the first 10 seconds to grab this person's attention? What do I say in the first 15 seconds? Or what do I say on a cold call to grab the person's attention? There's many things you can do. But what I would recommend, and what I want you to understand too, this is not saying it's the end all be all. This is not the only thing. And you may have a different variation, but the concept, there's several things that I do. The very first one, and I'll have them pop up on the screen here. So number one, the first thing that I do, it buys me time because when you're a sales rep and you're making a bunch of calls back to back, especially if you're using an auto dialer, you're going to get people who pick up and you're not going to be ready for that call. So you got to be on your A game every single time. But one thing that I do to get myself collected, because let's say I left 5 voice messages in a row and then somebody answers a call, I'm just thrown off. I'm trying to figure out, like, again, it's like the dog chasing the car. What do I do now that I caught the car? So you stammer and you're like, But what I typically do is I verify the person. So I'd say, hi, is this Mary Lisa? That's 2 first name. Hi, is this Mary Lisa? And that gives me a second, but then also gives Mary a second to say yes. And she tries to figure out, do I know this person? This is where I quickly go into I greet them. And I'll tell them, this is Donald from TSE. So then they'll probably try to think, what's TSE? They're going to try to register this in their head. So all of this point here, the first couple of seconds, it's allowing them to consider and to start to think and try to put me try to see if they know me or if they know the brand. If you're not a big name brand, they probably don't know. If they don't have any type of relevance, then they're not going to necessarily know your company, but it allows for you to get some time. So one, it's slowing the process down by allowing them to say, yes, this is Mary, or yes, this is Lisa, how can I help you? The 2 most important things that buyers want to know is who you are and why you're reaching out to them. So we're going to answer one of them. So who you are. This is Donald with TSE. Allows them to start to think, do I know Donald? Do I know TSE? If you follow my process when it comes towards LinkedIn, then they will know you, as we talked about in previous episodes. Now we go straight into the point of reference. Where do you connect with this person from? And this is what we spoke about previously when it comes towards LinkedIn. If I connect with the prospect on LinkedIn, if I had some kind of engagement and I broke through the noise, when I do send that email or I do make that phone call, it allows for a seamless conversation. And this is where it becomes this one call. So I might say something to the nature of, we connected on LinkedIn last week, or we engaged, I sent a voice message to you. Now they got a point of reference and they're going to say, well, yeah, how can I help you? This is the second most important thing the buyer wants to know, who you are and why you're reaching out to them. Those 2 things. So now we're going into that. This is where relevance come in. You have to have relevancy. And the relevancy, and the way I look at it, it's like a critical ingredient. It's like baking cookies and you need to have some kind of sweetener. This is that sweetener. This is a sugar or whatever sweetener you're doing. Because if you're just going to give me a bland cookie without no sweetness, I don't want that, right? So you got to give that. So first off, we made sure we verify it's the right person. Then we told them we're slowing the process down, and then when we told them who you are and where you're calling from, you're still thinking about it. Then you go into the port or the point of reference, and you help them to understand that you connected wherever. Maybe it's LinkedIn, or somebody referred you into them, or you sent an email, or you saw them at a conference. There's some kind of point of reference that allows that human being to start to reframe it and start researching in the brain. Do I know this person? Why they're reaching out to me? How do we have that connection? Is this a person I can get off the phone with quickly, or is this somebody that I have a reasoning? And that point of reference allow that and makes it a warm call, so to speak, or give that a little bit more of a reason for them to connect with you. But when you get down to that relevance, this is something that's important to them, like something that impacts their business. So maybe it's something like I saw go back to your post where you're looking to hire new people. That's a relevancy factor. That's something that they found that they posted and something that's important to them. Perhaps they're new to their role. Perhaps they are, I don't know, like they expanded into a new territory. Or maybe you saw something in their 10K. But there's got to be something that's relevant though, something that's important. They just launched a new product line. They're opening up a new store in your city. Like these things are all relevant to that prospect depending on their role. So if I'm talking to a marketing director, opening up new location is critical to them, where she's new to her position in that organization. Those are all important relevancy factor, but I have to tie that relevancy to the problem or the reason why I'm calling. And that's where we're coming with the value prop. So the reason I'm reaching out to you, I saw that you're hiring new sales reps for your organization. Many of the clients that we're working with, especially new leaders, when they're hiring team, we're trying to get them ramped faster. We have a way of making sure we can cut the ramp time by 50%. So this is what my value would be. So the first 10 seconds, let's break that back down. If you go and time it and you go into the first 5 to 10 seconds could be the variance, you're going to be coming up to that first, basically up to that relevance factor. That's where you're going to get to that first 10 seconds. That's important. If I can get to that part within that first 10 seconds, money's in the bank because I can explain my value prop. I bought myself enough time for them to be able to listen because I've showed that I'm relevant to them. And that allows for me to continue the conversation. Now, once I do my value proposition, and they say, "Yeah, this sounds or might say, "Okay, this sounds interesting." Then I can go in and say, "Do you have a few minutes so we can go deeper into this, or would you like to set up a time?" They're probably gonna, depending on how critical it is, and if they have the time, they'll probably say, "Just keep going," and you can keep the conversation. So let's go back in from the top. Verify the prospect. So it might sound something like this: "Hi, is this Lisa Smith?" "Yes, this is she." "This is Donald with TSC. I'm not sure if it rings a bell." "No, I'm not sure. We connected on LinkedIn. I sent a voice message, saw you were hiring." "Yes." Now I got to the relevancy factor. This is where I come in now. So the reason why I'm reaching out to them, and that got me to the first 10 seconds. I got their attention because again, most prospects, they don't want to talk to you. They don't know who you are, and they're not even trying to talk to another salesperson. They don't want to be sold something. But because if I can do that, and I can get to that first 10 seconds, I at least got that time, that first 5 to 10 seconds. I can go into the relevancy factor. We connected on LinkedIn, and here's the reason why I'm reaching out to you because I noticed this, and this. Do I have quick value prop? Tying that back to the relevancy and how it's important to them, and they're gonna say, "All right," either yes or no at that point. And that's how we can continue. But that's what I do with my calls. The first 10 seconds getting me down to that relevancy factor, doing my value proposition, get because that allows me, again, it's buying me time so I can have the time to give that value proposition. Most people will probably do it the other way where they just do a call. "Hi, this is so and so. I'm with XYZ company and we offer blah, 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 blah." If you're just doing straight cold calls, off the bat, you can spit through all of that. I found that that doesn't provide, it doesn't, most people want to know that you know them or that you have some kind of connection to them, or that you have something that's really important to help in their organization. And what I found is that if I practice this idea of verifying, slowing the conversation down by verifying, telling them who I am, and then tying back to a point of reference, that gives me the time and the authority. If I don't have anything to build at a point of reference to, naturally, I'm just going to go straight into my relevancy after I tell them who I am and go into the conversation. That shortens the time down. But if I do have that, I would love to use it and I would highly recommend it because it extends the life of that conversation. There, at least extend the prospect's ability to focus on you and to listen throughout the rest of your pitch, so to speak. So those are the 5 things you can see and pop up here on screen. 1, verify the person. Number 2, tell them who you are. Number 3, do the point of reference. Number 4, you're going into relevancy, tie something back to them that's critical, important to them. And then number 5, that value proposition or that offer. After you're done with that, number 6 is simple. The next step. Would you be open to learning more about that? Do you have a few minutes that we could talk more about that? Would you like to set up a time to go deeper into it? But if you do those 6 things, it's going to work best for you. But that's a simple process, and I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how you're trying this. Go into the LinkedIn, drop me a message, Donald C. Kelly. Go ahead on LinkedIn again, Donald C. Kelly, and tell me if you have tried this or if you're willing to try it, and tell me the results you're seeing. I want to make sure you're finding results. I want to make sure that you're successful. The first 10 seconds are going to be absolutely critical for your call. Again, please don't get just hung up on saying, well, I went to, it happened in 9 seconds or 13 seconds. The point is that first component, that first early part of your conversation with a prospect. You want to grab their attention, you want to break through the noise, and you want to be able to give them something that's going to be relevant, some kind of value that it continues the conversation. Hit me up and let me know. Next week, we're going to, well, on Friday, we have another episode, and that one's going to be 1852. And we're going to go a little bit deeper into the discovery call. I'm going to share with you my process, my outline for what I do in the disco. Can't wait to talk to you then. As always, I want you to raise your level of thinking. I want you to build a pipeline of your dreams. I want you to be able to close more deals, earn more money, but most importantly, go out and do big things. See you on the next one.